What's up, everybody? Justin here. Kind of lost my voice because I did a live reaction to Jones DC 2. Check out that UFC 214 live reaction. So this is my UFC 214 review up first. Well, I didn't watch the prelims. I believe they're on FS1. I didn't bother to. I was busy outside. Anyways, first fight of the pay-per-view was... God damn, I can't pronounce this guy's name. Anyways, it was, Gemini, whatever the guy's name is. He lost. The American dude, Gemini, whatever the guy's name is. So Jimmy lost. Jimmy Manilow or something like that lost to Osmeer. Osmeer wins in the first round in 22 seconds. He won. It was insane. Knockout in 22 seconds. Osmeer, that guy's damn dangerous. He wins. First round, 22-second knockout. Second fight of the night was... What the hell was second? It was Robbie Lawler taking on Donald. What the hell's his last name? The Cowboy. Donald Cerrone, I think. Anyways, it was a Cowboy against Robbie Lawler. This was a damn good fight. I would say the first round went to Robbie Lawler. He looked on fire in the first round. For the first 1 or 2 minutes, Robbie Lawler was in control of the first round and the fight. He's in control of it completely. Then we go to the second round. Round 1, we had a takedown by Donald, the Cowboy. Got a takedown, and he was on top of Robbie Lawler. That was not good for Lawler. And then the Cowboy, had side control on Lawler. Then he started... so first round, I'd give the first round to the Cowboy. In my opinion, he won the first round. Round number 2 went to the Cowboy again. He had a lot of kicks, connected with a lot of kicks and a lot of elbows. Round 3, I would say round 3 was like a tie, in my opinion. But your winner, I predicted he would win. Robbie Lawler wins by unanimous decision. Your winner, Robbie Lawler. Ruthless Robbie Lawler wins by unanimous decision. The third fight of the night was for the women's featherweight title. Tanya Ellinger, or whatever her name is, Tanya taking... This was for the women's featherweight title because the champion was stripped of her title because she didn't want to face Cyborg. So she was stripped of it. Chris Cyborg basically controlled this entire fight. But Tanya did fight with a lot of heart. She went all 3 rounds. I was shocked Cyborg did not defeat her before the third round was even here. Cyborg was still fighting her in the third round. Can't believe Tanya survived. She showed a lot of heart. Mad respect goes out to Tanya for surviving that long with Cyborg. Because, my God, Cyborg, she's built like a dude, in my opinion. So, third round. Tanya really isn't doing anything much at all. She's very pale, I'll tell you that. She's very pale skinned. Even though that has nothing to do with anything. And she just Tanya took a ton of punishment from Cyborg. But she wouldn't quit. Until the third round, where I can't believe Tanya went 3 rounds with Cyborg. Third round knockout. Chris Cyborg wins in the third round by knockout. Cyborg is the new women's featherweight champion. Up next we have Tyron Woodley taking on Damian Maia. This was a good fight. Another championship fight. This was the second title fight of the night. We would have a third in the main event. Second title on the line. Tyron Woodley was a champion defending against Damian Maia. This was a pretty entertaining fight. Until we got to round 4, maybe round 3, the fans started chanting, boring, boring. And I don't blame them. But still, it was stupid. I wouldn't chant boring if I was at an MMA event. Why would I chant that? It's not like UFC's wrestling where the crowds chant boring, stuff like that. You shouldn't do that at a UFC pay-per-view because it's a real fight. So why would you chant boring? So Tyron Woodley, the guy had a great plan. The guy was just fighting to retain. He wasn't trying to fight to win by KO or win by TKO. So the fight goes, let's see here. Round number 1, I give it to Tyron Woodley. And in round number 1, Maia got a cut on his left eye, and his eye was all swollen up already, really quick. His eye got swollen up. So Woodley wins round 1, in my opinion. Round number 2 goes to... So round number 2 would go to Tyron Woodley again. And Woodley, before round number 3, stopped like 10 takedowns from Maia. Woodley stopped them all. Round number 3, I'd give it to Tyron Woodley. Round number 4, Woodley. Round number 5, Woodley, in my opinion, wins every round. By the end of the fight, Damian Maia was 0 for 20. 0 for 20 on takedowns. That's funny as hell, and that's just funny. He couldn't take down Woodley. He tried 20 times and failed. So, by unanimous decision, Tyron Woodley wins and retains his title and is still champion. It was a good fight. But I will admit, by round number 5, I was kind of bored with it. I wanted it to be done already. Because I wanted to see the main event. John Bones Jones taking on Daniel Cormier for the title. Daniel Cormier was the champion, defending. In this main event at UFC 214, Cormier looked ready. The guy looked really relaxed in round number 1 and 2. He looked damn relaxed. Like he was fighting like, I'm not going to lose and I can't lose. So round number 1, I would give it to John Jones. Round number 2, I would give to DC. In the third round, the final round, because it did not go all 5 rounds. Third round, DC got caught with a big kick right upside the head. Rattled him. Probably gave him a concussion because he almost fell down after that big head kick from Jones. He was stumbling, and Jones tried to leg sweep him. Daniel didn't get leg sweep, but he was staggered. He was stumbling. He falls up against the cage. And he didn't even barely get touched. He fell up against the cage, and then he was staggered. And he just fell to the mat, and it was over. Falls to the mat. Jones jumps on him, starts punching him in the head, left hands, big elbows, like 5 or 6 elbows to DC that connected. And I mean hard shots that were connecting on DC. He was on the ground. He wasn't even moving. He was moving, but he wasn't trying to get up and defend himself. He did have his hands up like this, but that didn't stop Jones. He kept coming, bashing his head in with left hands to the head, elbows. John McCarthy, I think the ref, John McCarthy, let it go on a little too long because Cormier probably has a concussion and the guy kept taking shots and he wasn't getting up. So John McCarthy stops a fight after DC takes like probably 20 shots to the head. So then he stops it. John Jones wins and is the undisputed new light heavyweight champion. Undisputed light heavyweight champion. I don't know how long John Jones was gone. Like over a year, I think. I hope the guy's clean and sober for the rest of his career because he's a damn good fighter. I don't really like John Jones. I don't hate the guy, but I don't like him. But I will admit the guy's a great fighter. The guy returned, and he didn't miss a beat. The guy looked pretty damn good. But again, DC looked good, in my opinion. DC looked pretty damn good, really good. Like he was going to win in the first and second round. Then everything came crashing down in the third round when Jones connected with that head kick, and then it went all downhill from there because Jones tried a leg sweep. Still, Daniel gets out of it, runs away, staggers away, almost falls down, bounces off the cage, and falls down. And then after the fight, Cormier was being held back by security because he thought the fight was still going on. He looked really out of it. His eyes looked like the lights were on, but nobody was home. He looked really spaced out, like he didn't know where he was. Then he's interviewed by Joe Rogan. And I agree with this. Joe Rogan said to DC, I don't agree with interviewing fighters after they're knocked out. I agree with that. They shouldn't. But they did anyway. Because Joe Rogan's bosses probably tell him to do it anyways. So DC says in the interview, I don't even know what happened. He says, I guess I was kicked. Yes, you were kicked. I like DC a lot. Guy's a big pro wrestling fan. Guy's a WWE fan. That's cool. Because I'm a big time WWE fan. So anyways, I like DC a lot. I wanted him to win. But I predicted John Jones would win. So my two predictions, Tyron Woodley and John Jones, my two predictions I got right. I didn't predict Cyborg or Robbie Lawler, even though I thought they would win their fights, but I didn't bother predicting those. So if I would have, my predictions, I went, see there's 5 fights, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fights. Out of my predictions, I went 4 for 1. 4 predictions were right, 1 was wrong out of the 5 fights. I didn't watch prelims, I was busy. But UFC 214, a lot of good fights. The first fight was garbage because it ended in 22 seconds. The other fights were pretty entertaining. Especially the main event. That was damn good. I wish DC won, but he didn't win. The guy's still a great fighter. DC was crying before he's interviewed at the end of the fight. I thought he was going to retire, but I'm glad he didn't. I think he's 38 years old, so clock is ticking on DC. I don't know if he has more than 2 years left, maybe, for fighting. Then John Jones, after the DC interview, after the fight, John Jones gets on the mic again because he was already interviewed, grabs the microphone and calls out Brock Lesnar. I'm not joking. That happened. John Jones called out Brock Lesnar and said, hey Brock, if you want to get your ass kicked by a guy that weighs 40 pounds less than you, meet me in the octagon. And then he dropped the mic and left. Jones, if you're going to try to bulk up and fight as a heavyweight, I don't know what you're thinking. Brock is not as skilled of a fighter as John Jones, but still I think I put my money on Brock. Because if Brock gets a hold of you, if he charges your ass, he's going to take you down, lay on top of you, and bash your head in. and ground and pound and not let you go, in my opinion. But Jones very well could defeat Brock. But the guy's so damn skinny and underweight. I don't think he'd have a chance unless he gains a lot of weight to go to heavyweight. So this is my UFC 214 review in the books. Hope you enjoyed it. Follow me on Twitter at WWE NXT Guy. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. UFC 214 final grade, I'd give it a B+. Pretty good pay-per-view. A lot of good fights except for the first fight. That was stupid because it ended in 22 seconds. Bye for now, everybody.